Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Thursday, the third day of April 2025. I hope you're safe and healthy this morning and that your family is safe and healthy and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders who every day are doing their best to save lives. Those also that pick up garbage, keep our places clean, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children that are victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People that are also victims, those that are helping those that are victims of pornography, child pornography, prostitution, child prostitution, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators, profiteers, and perverts that create the demand that cause these industries to exist. Finally, double blessings on the homeless, more than 600,000 men, women, children, families, senior citizens, and military veterans on the streets of the United States of America. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. Last night, the Knicks played the Cleveland Cavaliers in Cleveland and lost 124 to 105. Not unexpected, having not had four of their key rotation pieces in Mitchell Robinson, Jalen Brunson, Deuce McBride, and Cameron Payne. It also being the second night of a back-to-back. And I think I mentioned yesterday, Mikal Bridges plays a lot of minutes, and he usually does not do well on the second night of a back-to-back, and he didn't last night. You can see in Josh Hart, who is, as I said, the bellwether of the team. His energy, his hustle is generally conducive to and what is a mark of the whole team. Josh Hart started off strong first quarter and into the second quarter yesterday. In fact, the Knicks were up most of that first half. But then, and actually they went up by 15, but then the legs were gone. The legs came out, and you could tell it was going to happen at the end of it, because if you've watched the Knicks enough, second night of a back-to-back, and it's not just the Knicks, it happens to every team, although some people in New York seem to think it's only a Knicks thing. But no, it happens to every team, and you can see the legs start to give out. And this is indicative when you start to see the opponent get multiple offensive rebounds, and the Knicks cannot obtain the basketball when it's loose. That's just no energy. And so last night, the Knicks suffered from that. Also, there was a tremendous amount of turnovers. Karl Anthony Towns had 7. Josh Hart had 3. Generally, Hart, Towns, even Brunson sometimes, but usually it's Hart and Towns are the biggest culprits of the turnovers. And when they're throwing the ball away like that, it also is an indication of fatigue. And Hart had 3 really dumb turnovers, and Cat had 7. That's ridiculous. But again, that all is a function of the fatigue level that they were feeling, especially in the second half. This Knicks team that Cleveland played is not the same Knicks team that's going to be the playoff Knicks. Because in the playoff Knicks, you will not have DeLon Wright starting at point guard. You will have Jalen Brunson. In playoff Knicks, you will not see Tyler Kolek. You will see Deuce McBride and then Cameron Payne. Okay, so I am not as concerned, and I wasn't even yesterday, and I told y'all don't worry about it if they lose the game, though some of you start to get bitter and negative overly anyway. But no, it's not a big deal. The good news is that Jalen Brunson, from what it was written, he's going to start practicing full tilt, and he should be ready this weekend, as should Deuce McBride and Cameron Payne. So you'll get all 3 back. Now we do have a back-to-back this coming weekend. You have Atlanta on Saturday, followed by Phoenix on Sunday. The game against Atlanta is in the ATL, and then the game in Phoenix is at Madison Square Garden. You're probably only going to get Mitchell Robinson for one of those games. I'm not sure which one, but you're only going to get him for one of those games. I don't think this back-to-back coming up is going to be as effective on the Knicks in terms of fatigue as we've seen for example, last night, because of the freshness that you're going to get from JB, Deuce, and Payne. They're going to be fresh. They're going to be ready to play. And maybe we keep DeLon Wright. Well, I don't know if he's going to stay in the rotation, but he's obviously a good piece to have in the guard rotation. We won't see Tyler Kolek again, and good for that, because again, some knucklehead talking about was hating on him. The boy's a rookie. He's not ready. Okay. My mom was watching the game with me last night. She's like, "What's wrong with him? He can't shoot." I said, "No, he can shoot. Is that he's trying his best to play semblance of defense, and that taking all his energy, and so he doesn't have the energy to shoot, but he can really shoot." Okay, and you'll see that. I said, but he's just not ready yet. He's going to need another year, so to get ready. And that's the game. That's the deal with him. You have to understand, not all rookies step in and ready to play NBA level defense. It takes a couple of seasons of development. Most rookies can come in and do something offensively. Okay, what gets most rookies in the league is the offensive talent. You do have once in a while, though, a Deuce McBride that can come in from college and play NBA level defense, or an OG Anunoby. In those scenarios, generally they don't look like they can shoot, because they're putting all their energy in their rookie year, in their second year, in defense, and don't have the offensive energy to get their shot off. But that will also come around for those that have the talent to do it, which Deuce does and did, and we knew that. It just was going to take him time to get acclimated to the speed and the energy level of the NBA game. Same with Tyler Kolek. He's not ready. He's not acclimated to the speed and energy level of the NBA game. He had to play because we didn't have nobody else, at the guard spot. But he gets victimized when he plays because he's not ready for the NBA level defense. Like I said, the summer league is going to be good for him, Ariel Hoporti, Daddier, McCullough. It's going to be good for all of them, because that'll give them a chance to show their stuff and develop further. Marchand Beauchamp, I'm expecting, to me, he's the best in terms of NBA readiness of the young players we have, him and Hoporti. They're more NBA ready than the other guys, and I expect them to show that by the time the summer league comes. But that aside, Precious Achiuwa finally showed up to play last night, and he had 13.6 boards in 21 minutes. He looked pretty good last night. I like that going forward. What showed me last night is I am not worried about Cleveland. The Knicks can beat Cleveland in the 7-game series, especially when you're talking about the team with Mitchell Robinson, Deuce, JB, Payne, and then with the team they could beat Cleveland. I'm not worried about that. The fight that the Knicks showed in the first half when they had the energy told me, oh yeah, they could play with these guys. And we didn't even have our guys, last night at that point. So there won't be no third quarter fatigue in the playoffs. There's enough rest between games so that you don't have that back-to-back third quarter effect that you have during the regular season, which I said is an 82-game grind. It's not, it's not college, it's the league. And so it's an 82-game grind. But in the playoffs, you get days off, you get time to recuperate, you get time to study the other team, make adjustments. It's a whole different world. I like our chances if we have to play Cleveland or Boston in the playoffs. At this point, we really don't know, depending on how the Eastern Conference shakes out, in terms of the bottom four. So we'll see. But actually, I looked at the first half harder than the second half. I kind of knew that fatigue was going to kick in, and it did. And in that first half, I liked the way the Knicks came up. So I'm not worried about them that much. Now, OG is still on the tear. He was ridiculous last night too. But even he, in the first half, going into the third quarter, you could tell he was wiped. He was exhausted, because he had just played 33 minutes the night before. McCall had just played 36 minutes the night before to put Philly away. So is what it is. Next game, they got on Saturday. It's a 3 o'clock game, matinee type game in the ATL, which really is MSG South. And so, yeah, we'll be all right. So I'm just waiting for the word on the injured players. I know Mitchell Robinson's available. I just don't know if they're going to make him play the Saturday or the Sunday. I'm just waiting to hear for Brunson, Deuce, and Payne. Are they going to be ready to go? I expect them to be ready to go both games. Hopefully, starting Saturday, so we could use them. So we'll see. But for now, take heart. Do not get overly negative and stupid and doomsday like a lot of knuckleheads are going to do on social media. The Knicks are fine, and they're going to be fine. And so they got 48 and 28 right now. 48 and 28 with 6 games to go. They're a lock to win 50 again. They won't get 55 like I had initially wanted, but hey, it is what it is. We'll take another 50-win season and third in the East. So yeah, that's it. So again, we're just looking to hear the update on the health of the 3 guards that we need. We'll talk soon. Enjoy your Thursday. Shalom.